She knew what she was doing. This is cool, guys. This is my first time doing stand-up in India, in Palm Springs. Thank you. Also, I've made many trips out here for many reasons, but this is my first time out here as a new dad. My son just turned 1 3 weeks ago. My wife showed so much grace. No time for an epidural, only in active labor for 30 minutes, only pushed 3 times, standing up. Yeah, you guys love her. She's got the charm of Blake Lively. She wears these long, flowy linen outfits. She looks like a West Elm couch, but in a good way. She's gorgeous, she's stunning. Like, she looks like a Greek sculpture, and I look like the clay you would use to make the sculpture. But we made a sculpture. And I just want to be a good dad. I don't know what any of us are thinking becoming parents. I don't know what it like. I think about my parents, I think about their parents. My parents met competing against each other on a game show in the 70s called Family Feud. Yeah, that's real. Real red flag. That's what I come from, and I just want to be better at this. I just want to be a good dad. I think I'll be a good dad because I was never a hot kid, you know? Like, since I was 7, grown-ups have just been, just hang in there! You're gonna be a good dad! No, I think they're right. I'm fucking excited for all of it. I'm excited for dad jokes. You know, what's a pirate's favorite letter? Oh, you think it's R, but 'tis the C that he loves. What's up, India? Can't trust this, Daddy. All I want to do is hug you and tell you how proud I am of you. I am so excited to be a dad, and I never cared about the sex of the baby. It doesn't fucking matter. If we have an athlete, I want to make every practice. If we have a Girl Scout, I'm going to help her sell all of the cookies, because guess who's buying all of the cookies? Girl Scouts, by the way, 'tis the season, have the best cookies. They raise $800 million a year for charity. They have a cookie called the Samoa that is so good it doesn't offend the Samoans. And I'm not trying to make any friends or enemies out of anyone here, but our Boy Scouts sell popcorn. Our Boy Scouts sell popcorn for $26 a bag. Our Girl Scouts sell cookies for $5 a box. So besides proving that a wage gap exists, I don't know what the fuck we're doing with the popcorn. I want to be a good dad. Not a whole lot of room for a dad in the beginning. I'm just so inadequate. I went to every doctor's appointment before he was here, been to every single one since. Every single appointment, I just sit in the chair that's meant to hold my wife's purse. My wife has been breastfeeding, which is not a political statement. But being honest with you guys, it's been really difficult and very frustrating. Been very painful for my wife. My wife has been dealing with several clogged ducts. And my mom would come over a couple times a week to watch our kiddos, so my wife and I can get some time alone. And the other night, my wife pulled me into the bedroom, and I was like, fucking sick. And then she started showing me a mom blog on an iPad, and I was like, oh, fucking sick. And she was like, see, mom blog says we could do a warm compress for the clogged duct, yet we tried that. Mom blog says we could do pharmaceutical medicine for the clogged duct, yet we tried that. But all of the mom blogs unanimously agree that the only surefire way to clear the clogged duct is to have your husband suck it out. Okay, fuck you guys. Quick aside, what is with the double standard here? Why is the dialogue that any fluid that comes out of a man's body is fun? Urinate's like, let's write my name in the snow. For years we've just been like, can I put this anywhere? I've heard it's good for your skin. I try opening up to all of you guys about helping my wife with breast milk, and all of us unanimously, we're just like, fucking gross! And does it suck the fun out of it? Yes, it does. But I'm trying to be a good dad, so I'm just taking pulls from this thing, like venom out of a snake wound, just siphoning gas in the summer, hoping nobody sees me. My wife's like, why don't you just swallow it? I was like, I don't want to swallow. She's like, oh, you don't want to swallow! Meanwhile, my mom's just on the other side of the door, like, you kids having fun in there? I want to be a good dad. I want to be around for this kid. I want to treat this kid. You know, I want to teach him what's wrong and what's right. I'm a straight white guy, which is a bummer. And, I want to raise my son to be loving and inclusive and understanding of all the different walks of life we have. And I want him to know how to communicate the difference. I want to talk about a lot of things, but I feel like culturally we've progressed so much, but our language hasn't evolved, so sometimes our accomplishments sound silly. Like sometimes saying the right thing could just be a hair shy of saying the wrong thing. Does that make sense? Good feedback. When I was a kid, my grandmother used to say colored people, which is not okay, and I would bug her about it all the time. But if she was still alive for me to let her know that we landed on people of color, she would slap the fuck out of me. Culturally, we've progressed. The syntax is not, and I'm proud of all the advancements our culture is making. But every time I think about trying to explain the sexuality spectrum to my mother-in-law, I just remember the one time my grandmother tried to explain jazz to me. She's like, look, sometimes it's gonna sound like this, sometimes it's gonna look like that. It really was this underground movement that was birthed out of self-exploration and not wanting to adhere to labels. And it's a beautiful movement with duos, trios, quartets, polytempos. And sometimes some religions, some politicians, Florida, they think music can only sound like one thing. Oh, wow. Just never been met with it. Okay. Jazz is a beautiful thing. And sometimes at its best, it's just a few talented people improvising in the basement. I thought that would get a better laugh. Maybe that joke would be better, but I don't love jazz. I just experimented in college. Could have been better, but I don't know what you guys are doing in the way of jazz education out here. Wow. Okay. Most of the crowd is bigoted. Okay. Sorry, I didn't know. I'm just making some adjustments. Got it. I want to be a good dad. I want to be a good white Christian dad. I want to be healthier for this kid. I want to start listening to Joe Rogan and doing CrossFit. This is true. During the pandemic, I posted a fat joke to TikTok, and I got offered a 4-year modeling contract as a plus-size model. That's a real thing that happened. I don't know what white privilege is, but that happened to me during a pandemic. They sent us a contract that said, you are very handsome, and my wife laughed out loud. They want me to model clothes? I can't even shop at normal stores. Are you kidding me? For my wedding, I went and I bought a new suit at a big and tall store, which I was hesitant to do, mostly because I don't think of myself as fat. I think I would classify myself as playfully obese. Lava lamp-esque. But I went. I walked into big and tall, and it felt so good. First of all, so much air conditioning. Like they know exactly how much I sweat from the car to the front door. I walk in, all the mannequins were bigger than I am. I was just like, oh. I think I feel pretty. Usually I'm just ashamed alone in a dressing room throwing a bunch of clothes that don't fit in a dirty little corner. This place I'm throwing shirts over the door like, Philip, do we have anything smaller? All of this is too big. My whole life I thought it was a triple XL. Turns out I've been a fat small the whole time. And I do want to be healthier for this kid. I want to be around. Health is all that we have, and I think if the last few years have taught us anything, it's that. There was one morning last year I was brushing my teeth and I went to spit out my toothpaste, and physically I couldn't. I looked up in the mirror and I saw that this left side of my face was completely paralyzed. I thought I was having a stroke, and I went to my wife, and before I could say anything, she just started crying hysterically. She's like, we need to go to the hospital right now. I don't know if you guys have ever been 300 pounds, 6'3", and run into an emergency room with a hysterical wife. But the first thing they did was go, did he hurt you? Meanwhile, I'm just shuffling through the door like Men in Black's, I need sugar water. They rushed me past everybody waiting in line. They got me from some student doctors like I'm an episode of House. It wasn't lupus. Finally, they get me in front of the doctor, and the doctor, she said, Mr. Hill, I'm sorry, but your face is paralyzed because you picked up a rare viral disease called Bell's palsy. And your face is going to be paralyzed for the next 6 to 8 months. And my first thought was, I need to audition for America's Got Talent. Like, I've been funny, but now I have a backstory, and I've never had one of those before. I'm just gunning for everything you guys love and hate tonight. I think we learned a lot during the pandemic. Got some time off, time to look at ourselves as individuals, how we can be better, look at ourselves as a country, how we can be better. Still working on that one. I looked inward, Not great. I looked inward, and if I'm being honest with all of you guys, I looked inward and I found that I do have prejudicial behaviors. I'm not proud of it, and I'm working on it, but I know that I do judge people by the way that they look. And I don't care what color your skin is, where you're from, who you pray to, how you identify, or who you were in love with, but if you're hot, I hate you. If you're gorgeous, you are the worst, and some of you might be, but Hunter, you're attractive, and those people are from Ohio. Nobody should think like that. I'm Old Navy handsome in a town of Lululemon. I don't know why I live in Los Angeles. I want to be a good dad. I want to be a good husband. My wife and I are at that phase where we're just assigning chores to each other by talking through our kid. Mommy's gonna change your diaper. Yeah, Daddy's gonna cook dinner for fucking once. I wanna be healthier, around, scared. Just talking with you guys now. I am. I think if I'm being honest with all of you guys, where I'm at right now is my son Mercer just turned 1 and he's starting to walk and he's banging his head on the fucking everything, no matter how hard I try to make sure it doesn't bang on anything, and I'm scared. I'm at this point where I'm realizing no matter how much I prepare, no matter how much I plan, no matter how much I baby-proof, this world is always going to find a way to get between me and them, and I'm scared. I'm scared about things I never thought I'd be scared of. I want to make sure that he always looks up to me. My wife and I, we made it out to dinner alone for the first time a few months ago, and we were both nervous. We were both on edge, being away from the house for the first time. And halfway through appetizer, she just looked up at me and she went, "What's wrong?" And I just looked at her and I asked, "Do you think it's weird that I'm worried our son is going to have a bigger dick than me?" And without blinking an eye, she just looked at me and she went, "Nope." But then she said, "But the whole point of being a parent is to give your kids the things that you never had." There you are, Leo. Thank you guys very much. My name's Hunter Hill. Fans and Springs Casino, what do you guys want to do? Everybody!
What a setup! We never take for granted for 1 second how fucking lucky we are to get to do stand-up comedy back inside with everybody else. We had to do shows outside like animals for like a year. It's nice. And a lot of people are very conservative. They're like, "Why were you outside? I don't know. Breathe easy." It's nice to be inside. We're not all stuck at home doing this for 10 nights. Yeah. People groan at that, but as Americans, we need to come together and recognize our sordid past of dancing to TikToks, okay? We need to acknowledge this. I know, the whole front row is like, what the fuck is she talking about? Ask your grandkids, okay? It's embarrassing. Oh yeah, I didn't drive 2 hours in traffic to not play with you. Come on, you guys. Loosen up. Everybody danced, okay? Everybody knows someone who danced. Everybody thought in the back of their mind the world was shut down for a year. It's like, you can't go to school. Do you want to read a book? It's like, no, I'm American. I'm going to do this for 6 hours and hope I blow up. You would never gonna be famous for dancing on TikTok. You wanna know why? Because you're ugly. That's why. That's why. Everybody tried it, and it's embarrassing when it was like parents. Like, I understand if you're a fully lobotomized 21-year-old, like, maybe this is the key. And then you see, like, fathers, gun owners, people at January 6th doing this, and maybe me. And because of that, because we were dancing while the world kept spinning, we got a whole micro generation of kids now that have just completely